Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Conquer the Clutter podcast for January the 8th, 2025. Wow. Wow. Every time those numbers go up one, it's like something spectacular has happened, right? Today we're going to bring this clutter buddying project that people asked about a little support for. We're going to bring this in for a landing, all right? And next week, we're going to be talking about paper. And we may be talking about paper for 2 podcasts, depending on how long it takes, because paper is one of the biggies. And as I say that, and everyone is nodding, so that's validation that we seem to be on target. What is also true is that if you really think about it, all right, you really look at your paper, I want you, without going to extremes on this, um, to realize that probably 60 to 75% of the paper is paper that lands in unrequested. If you just track the amount of paper that comes into our life through ads and newspapers and things that just land in, then if we don't learn to deal with it and make decisions about how useful it is for us today moving forward in the moment. All right. And I'm going to keep all of my mail this week. And we're going to start next week with me showing you how I triage my mail. And I have become somewhat of a ninja about it because it could build up. I could talk myself into the possibilities. You have to really be tough with yourself and it. And believe me, all right, it isn't one of those things you're ever going to have a shortage of. Ever, ever, ever. Okay. So it's sorting out the good with the don't need it now. I'll look for it when I'll look for this, whatever it's advertising or saying, I will look for that when I feel the need. Okay. So on with clutter buddying. Today, I would like to go around and what I'll do is I'll use the participant list here and I want to go around and I just want to do a little bit of a check-in about how many people who are in attendance really have an interest in clutter buddying. All right. And then, given those numbers, I'm going to figure out how much time today goes into um, an open discussion of what's lacking, what you need, what you learned from the last 2 or 3 podcasts, and where you folks need to move forward. Do you need to make contact with one another? Do you need to set up a time and a place on Zoom online where you meet and firm up what this need or this plan looks like yourself? That it's you yourself with whoever else feels the same need. That's the next step here. All right. So I want to make sure that that gets facilitated today. So I'm going to start with, oh, okay. You're first on the list. Do you want to unmute and just tell me, is clutter buddying something that is important to you?
Uh, it would be helpful. I'm just unsure, and unfortunately, I only got the to be able to attend the first podcast on it, and not the others, and I haven't looked online. Is it available online right now?
It
The other,
should, if it isn't, it should be very soon. I
uh,
spoke to Braden day before yesterday, And except for the current podcasts, my understanding is that they're pretty much caught up. And I know when I went online, there was a blast of them
Okay.
that were going
So
out.
yes, I'm interested. It probably would be useful, but I'm unsure at this time.
What's the unsure part about?
A lot of it has to do with my schedule, which
Okay.
is all over the place, work-wise and personally.
Okay. So people think about what the options are. Um, and is it clutter buddying as in a group gets together, a self-help group that you form yourself, get together on a particular day at a particular time, maybe in the evening, because a lot of you are going to be working, or busy with other things that aren't movable out of your schedule. And it's more of a enhance your motivation, exchange ideas, exchange sort of little things that Joe Blow has learned or something else. It's a motivational thing. And then the other 6 days of the week, you go and you act it. There's another that would be very useful. All right, very useful. Um, the other part would be that you pair up with probably one other person because it's these days it's very difficult to align numerous people in the same time frame on the same day. And while you're working on your decluttering or whatever the project is that's kind of got you on the run, um, you have another person there. That's the other version. All right. So which, just so that and is not the only person who's going to speak today, but of
I
those
hope
two
not.
varieties, no, of those two varieties, all right, is it group or individual? That would
I probably, to be realistic, would be individual, like one-on-one.
okay.
Because I already have some group things that I need to be part of, and even that's quite difficult.
Okay.
So there's other group commitments.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks. Um, so who's next? Do you want to unmute? Are you there? She's there. But where are you? Okay. Um, Galaxy. Do you want to unmute?
That me? That might be me.
I guess it is. So, um, is clutter buddying a positive opportunity for you? Or, I mean, with this new news of your husband's health set aside, because there's still going to be many, many more hours in the day and in the week that that does not have to be your focus. Um, so it's a question of focus and energy, right? Really, when you're
I
worried
don't
about
know if I have the energy or the desire. It's terrible. But
yeah.
I know I have to get rid of some stuff because if for some reason I would have to move closer to my daughter, I'm gonna have to be a lot more serious about getting rid of stuff.
Okay. So would it be a group? So you are interested in clutter buddying?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the time frame is with everyone. That's probably the biggest thing.
So we're not talking about a commitment right now. We're talking about just focusing on, yes, as a support, I believe it would be helpful for me and I'm interested. I don't know that I can be interested, but yes, I would be interested. Or no, it's not my thing.
I guess so. I mean, it's probably normally wouldn't be my thing, but I guess I would try it.
Okay. And would it be the one-on-one or would it be having a motivational group?
Well, I mean, it would probably be unfair to one person if I'm not showing up very often, you
Okay.
know, or it
So,
probably should be a group, but I
Oh.
would prefer to individual because I'm not real good in a group.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Do you want to, names keep hopping here.
Right now, I'm gonna hold off. I'm just gonna listen and I'm gonna,
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
buddies before. I'm a very good buddy. And when I'm ready, I will be a buddy.
Okay. So you're interested,
Yes,
and would it be individual,
one-on-one.
one-on-one?
Yeah, and I'm very flexible with my time.
Okay. Good. Okay. Thank you. Back to. Do you want to express an opinion? Maybe not. Okay. Maybe some of these people are new people and they're feeling shy.
Hi.
Hi. Okay.
Yeah, I like
Brenda-
the idea of it.
Okay.
But if I'm honest, even that gives me a bit of anxiety.
It does.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like too, if I go on my own, I either A, it doesn't get done at all, or B, it sometimes gets done, but it's only when I really feel up to doing it.
Okay.
So yeah, and the communication to me is, this needs to go faster than the pace that I set.
Okay.
But for me, it's more like the buddy, it would be more like not necessarily motivating me to do it, but just to like to
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
if that makes sense.
No, it does. So I hear you are, it sounds as though you're leaning more toward one-on-one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that. JT, would you like to express an opinion? Oh, raised her hand. Yes.
I just wanted to raise my hand to go next because I did connect with two people when we had the rooms, and we're planning to be clutter buddies in some format. We haven't made the arrangements and gotten in touch after Christmas yet, but I just wanted to make the pitch for those who are a little nervous about it. That I have a group of clutter buddies once a week. It has been so wonderful and helpful. And I'm so excited that, last time when we had the rooms that I found a couple people that I connected with well. So I think I'm set up for that, but I'm going to stay today to listen to see, if there's maybe another group that comes. Because for me, the more often I've got clutter buddy sessions, the more I benefit. So it's great. And progress is progress. Nobody judges you. Everybody's focused on what they're working on. And everybody, it's not a competition to see who gets more progress done or whose house is the messiest or the neatest. We're all in the same boat in
So it's
so many ways.
not a pass or fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a
the
good
two
point.
people aren't here today, but this prompted me to get in touch with them. And don't be scared of it, guys. Yeah, it could be a thing that really, for me, it really changed the trajectory of my depression and making some progress on my home.
No, for sure. And wherever you get the motivation, even if your first choice would be individual, you don't have to be the most talkative person in a group. It's the exchange of energy and the support.
Yep.
Even when you hear somebody else getting support, you get support too, because there's a commonality of experience among the people who are there, and a commonality of beliefs as well, and values.
When I first started, sometimes we would kind of say what we wanted to work on, and then we go work for 30 minutes and come back and just kind of share and then go for it again, or it can be all kinds of formats. But like, I mean, I've had times when my goal was just to wash 3 dishes,
Okay,
you know,
yeah,
and nobody judged me on that. That was
Yeah.
fine. And that was helpful to me. So, you know, just,
Yeah.
I've just encourage folks to not be afraid. It can be a really great thing.
thanks.
You're welcome.
Do you want to express an opinion?
Yes, I would be happy to. Um, I would be happy to be either an individual or a group, probably better a group. I haven't been here for the last couple of months. I kind of freaked out when you gave me a direct advice. And
I
couldn't
gave you a
follow it.
what? When I gave you a what?
Direct advice,
Okay.
a couple of months back, and I couldn't follow it as it turned out. And so
Okay.
I think I just kind of went backward. I ended up going backwards. So, yeah, I've been thinking about systems and dealing with everything really, because, and I'm retired, so somebody with time would be fine. I really appreciate expression about how helpful the group has been, and especially like the work buddies as well as just talking. So I'm up for it. I need something different. I'm happy. Either
That's
way.
great. Thanks.
Muting now, and I'm
Okay.
starting my video.
Okay.
So I'm more inclined to say yes to a group than to a one-on-one buddy situation. I want to also, again, echo, good for you for speaking up. I had experience a number of years ago was with an online group that was from California. And it was the thing that you described, which is you found someone and said, you know, for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to empty my laundry basket. The thing that was so valuable about that was that afterwards, if you said, I emptied a laundry basket, and that other person said, good for you, the thing was that was someone who really understood that that was indeed an accomplishment.
Mhm.
And it really was a good kind of new level of being able to approach things, to not feel negative about what you've achieved.
That it's not enough somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, like not the external world standards, but the understanding that was a praiseworthy effort from someone who really understood it. And so that's why for me, I would be more interested in group.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. Because there's nothing to say that it can't be both. That
Well-
certain people form a one-on-one, all right, and other people form a group. Because what I'm going to do at the end of this is I'm going to post, well, it probably will be, I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do that, but I will post first name, individual, first name, all the individuals, and then all the group people. And then everybody who's in that division can figure out what's the best way to connect. All right. And maybe that would be at the next podcast, because chances are they'll be there, but you've got time to reflect. Okay, I've got some names here. Do you have an opinion?
Is that me?
I guess so.
Okay, great. Sorry, I kind of came in later. Are we just like deciding whether individual or group support is that? And it's my first time here, so.
Okay. And would, so you can go back and listen to the other podcasts, view them on hoarding.ca. You go into more, it's the more tab you choose, webcast recordings, and then it takes you in. And I'm pretty sure they will have been posted, because we've done, I think this is the third or fourth that we've done on trying to help you folks form a clutter buddy system for those people who are interested. So it sounds as though it is a yes. Clutter buddying sounds like a good thing to you. And would it be a group or individual, do you think, that would work better for you?
I think both is good. 'Cause usually I've had like support groups and then I've had one-on-one. So I think I think both, like you could get more. I like the fact that I know that there's other people going through the same struggles and they offer advice on what has worked for them. And then I think the one-on-one really would probably help me hone into my own issues and maybe some accountability there and really work on what it is I'm struggling with. Cause like in a support group, you only probably have only like a few minutes, but
Mhm, mhm.
I think I would do both if ever I had that opportunity.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Hi, I am interested in both potentially. I um may have some issues with scheduling, but I am in other groups, but I think having a group that's specifically learning from you might have specific benefits, so I would
Mhm.
try that out.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Hi,
You-
I would say both. I have experience with an in-person group, which proved helpful to me. It resulted in my borrowing the book Buried in Treasures
Mhm.
and going through it and trying to therapize myself and,
Okay.
and I know that cognitive behavioral therapy is not supposed to be something you can do to yourself, but hey, I'm special. So I actually tried some of the things on my own and foundations, the whole stuff that the facilitator at the morale to also try to get a one-on-one. I realized that that's a lot more difficult to, in some ways, it's a lot more difficult to arrange.
Well, it's a definite commitment because the other person's counting on you. But you know what? Sometimes that, and when I started years ago going to exercise classes, I said to a girlfriend of mine who was also, you're always theoretically interested, right? And then I said, okay, here's the deal that I need. When I say to you, what do you say we just, you say, no, we have to go. We said we go, we're going. And when you say, what do you think we do? Da, 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 da. My job to you is to say, no, no, we said we're going, we're going. And it worked. So that's sort of that's a form of friendly accountability where you make a contract knowing what you need, not just like a blanket contract of we show up. Here behaviorally is what we do when you do it for me, I do it for you when we are going to stumble. Yeah. Um, do you have an opinion?
Okay. Yeah, I think I would benefit from a group, a motivational group.
Okay. Okay. Point final. Anything else? No?
Yeah, that's
Pretty much it.
all for now.
Oh, it's all for now. Signing off. Um, do you have an opinion? I'm going to take that as a maybe no. Do you have an opinion? Oh, you're
There.
muted.
Hi, I'm sorry, I just came in.
That's
So I
okay.
don't know what was the question.
So we're talking about clutter buddying, which has been the subject matter for the last
Mhm.
4 podcasts.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring it in for a landing today, so that I did a survey with everybody who's here. Is this something that you think would be useful for you? Yes or no? And if it was a yes or a possibly, then what format would it take? Would it be an individual? You'd buddy with one person and the two of you would make a schedule that for both of you? Or would it be a group where you go to the group and you're motivated by the energy of the group and the exchanges in the group, and then you go back to the other 6 days of the week and use that refocus motivation to do what is your priority?
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd like the group because I just feel like, I don't know. Because I've been trying to figure out who I would have as a buddy. And I just can't think of anybody that, would even not judging or appropriate from what we've been doing, talking about it. And I just, yeah, so I would prefer the group.
Okay. Thank you very much. What's your thought on it?
I'd prefer the group. I have several accountability partners just with productivity, and some of that is clutter, but I think a group would be good for me.
Okay. Yes, a group. And
Sorry for the delay. I would prefer an individual session. I'm rather introverted, so the thought of a larger group talking, I'm not as comfortable. I'm retired. I would prefer if I could set up a time with someone so we meet regularly. We each talk at the beginning about what we're going to do, then we do it, and then at the end of the agreed upon time, we come back, we check in, we explain how things have gone, any challenges, and we set up the time. Preferably, it would be the same day and time each week, or even twice a week. But if that's not possible, then we could, for the following week, agree on a time and change the time, but just keep moving forward together like that.
I think that's great. Okay, so yes, but individual.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So do you have an opinion?
This is actually her friend Joseph. I do catch the podcast when I can, but often I have technology challenges.
Okay.
I would be willing to consider one or the other. They both have their values. I've been in all second or third opinions that I've been in what do we call it? A peer support group for a few years now. We started with 12, got down to 6 of us, and for the last few years, it's just been 2 of us, and it's been what's kept me going.
Okay, so you found that really did work.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, you're muted. Okay. Yep, you gotta unmute.
Sorry, I had to look and see where the hell I was on this because I was small and far away. Yes, I would be interested. A lot of what you said resonated with me, and I can't remember the name of the other lady that was talking about how much the peer support has changed her
Wendy.
outlook and life and whatever. I am interested, ideally keeping it to, the same time, so it's a regular appointment would be good. I do have a lot of medical appointments, but I try and schedule everything the best I can. I have done a little bit of the buddy system with a local friend here in Ottawa whose house is way worse than mine is. And, you know, we both acknowledge that, although mine gets bad at times. And I'm definitely looking for someone. I think most of the people here are not judgmental, or we wouldn't be here. And, you know, some days go better than others, and sometimes we find more time to, or energy, or motivation. But it's nice to have someone else to, I don't know how much the accountability thing, because I was raised with guilt. So sometimes, you know, that seems a bit much. But yeah, comparing notes and determining tasks.
Support, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. So
So would that be individual or would it be
I
group?
would prefer individual.
Okay. Okay.
Or even like maybe a group of 3 maximum.
Small, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Would you like to express an opinion? No opinions, okay. Want to make sure everybody gets a chance. Do you have an opinion on it? Clutter buddying is a good idea. Something that you can see value in, importance, and what brand, which version, individual or group or both. The other thing you can do for people who are not comfortable unmuting and talking is you can put it in the chat. All right.
I'm sorry. If you're talking to me, I don't know if there's 2.
No, just one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was doing a lung treatment, so I couldn't talk. Yeah, I like to clutter buddy, and I like to do it either way. I mostly do it one-on-one, and yeah, I think it's a great tool. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody? So I see that. Is there anybody I haven't asked in the go around? I didn't ask you.
Hi, sorry I kind of came in a little late, but I think I can kind of get the gist. I really kind of like this group. I guess I'm kind of like I do both. I don't really know if I would give up one over the other, but so I'll say both. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't think I spoke with you. Oh, just got up. Do you have an opinion on it that you want to speak to? Possibly not. Okay. You'd have to unmute. I don't want to put you under pressure. While you're figuring that out, I'm going to go to 2 others.
Okay, I'll start by saying had her hand up longer than me.
Okay.
Voilà.
Okay, so you're speaking now. Why don't you say what you need to say and I'll get next.
Okay, maybe in line with what you said, I'd like to add, I've been involved with group therapy and also 12-step groups. When I first started having problems, I was working with a therapist and I wanted nothing to do with group. It was kind of like, I've got my own bugs, my own dirt, and I don't need a whole bunch of people to be aware of it. By, I'd say fluke almost, I ended up in group therapy, and I guess I was ready at that time too, but it's done wonderful things. And then 12 steps. So I know those are very different from this, but it's still group and it's still sharing with others. And I found that I benefit so much from hearing others. And this morning is an example, hearing others, how would I say, helps. I've got less butterflies in my stomach when I think about it. And so I do appreciate everybody's opinion. And if somebody is scared of group, I encourage you to give it a try at least. And so I changed my vote, I guess, to probably both. And one of the advantages of group that I didn't think of is that if I can't make it, like I think a bit of a larger group than just like one-on-one means that you don't let the others down if it doesn't coincide. So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Good motivation.
Yeah, sorry about the muting difficulties earlier. This is my first time on this with the group, and I would be interested in the group setting.
Okay.
As I'm still working, and so yeah, I think that would suit better.
All right. Good. And
yes, that's me. Hi. Hi, Elaine and everyone else. I am from the UK, as you can probably tell by my voice. I am, I would say, closer in terms of what I'm looking for to. I am flexible with my time, being retired, and I'm very keen to have sort of firm, structured agreement to time and to a person. However, that doesn't mean to say that I wouldn't want a group also. We have a couple of groups in the UK that I in, and one's a face-to-face and one is online, and they can have their challenges, and sometimes it ends up being one person talking about their personal problems that have no relation to hoarding. So I want my clutter buddy to be, or a clutter buddy group to be, clutter buddying and saving other things for other times. And I don't know if it helps to say I'm somewhat OCD, and so I'm a less common type of hoarder. I have way too much stuff. That makes me a hoarder. I have difficulty getting rid of it, and perhaps acquire too much. But I have a different set of issues and causes for how I arrived in this position, perhaps.
Just to let you know, B, anyone on the spectrum of OCD, all right?
Yeah.
You're looking at conservatively 35% of people who have observable experience with OCD symptoms. Many people, and there are probably a lot more than that, because there are so many diagnoses that become the flavor of the day. ADHD is one of them. That OCD is pretty present. So don't worry about not and you don't have to be 100% OCD. It's the question, does it interfere with your daily life? Yeah. So I think even in a group, should that be the option that is more in line with timing and whatever, you're going to find, believe me.
Yeah. Okay. So just to wrap it up, I'm keen for both. I'll happily try both, and I'm flexible with time.
Okay. Thank you. DJ.
Thank you.
I see has joined us. we were talking about clutter buddying, and I wanted to know, given that this is like the third or fourth podcast on it, what's your opinion on its favorability and that you would be interested? And which format would work better for you? Having an individual that you contract with specific days, time, whatever, and then you work together as a team, or a group that has a set day and time where a group of people get together.
Okay, hello. I am interested. I have been helped by a friend over the last year or so, and I've helped them, and it's worked really well, even though it's been informal. I think I would work best with a group.
Okay.
That would be my first choice, but I wouldn't discount the second option.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Is there anybody that I have missed? Okay.
Hi, is this being recorded?
It's being recorded, but it's not going to be posted. I want an opportunity to review it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe that's why some people might be hesitant. They're not sure it's going to go on the website.
Yeah. No, no.
Okay. So I think I would probably say both. You know, it's hard to know because you might just get the perfect clutter buddy and it will work out great, and maybe it wouldn't. So a group gives you a little bit more leeway there. And also people have said this, there is also that responsibility, which I'm happy to take on in a way, but something could come up and you're not available and then you're letting the other person down. So there's not quite as much pressure with the group, although I'm open to both. It could work out really well with one person. You just never know how it will. One of the things that I have found helpful is Tara McGillicuddy, who's an ADHD coach. She has these co-working sessions, and you can sign up. You know, she suggests a donation, but they are free. And you go in and it's very structured. You will state exactly, you know, what you're ready to do. You're ready to take action, and you go away for like 90 minutes, or maybe it's 45 minutes, I think. And then you come back and you say what percentage you got done. And she says, any movement forward is good. So she's always giving you that kind of encouragement. And then you go away, you do another session at the end, you know, you kind of put in the chat, it's very structured. I am grateful for the progress I've made, that kind of thing. And you get a lot of her, she'll say, great, I see lots of great movements. So you're getting a lot of that kind of thing. And over the holidays, she had some that were pre-recorded. You could just sign in and there would be different people at a certain time, and she'd have all of her prompts done. And I find, you know, I find those groups are helpful, although after a while, I kind of get immune to things, something like that, you know? So if it's not actually with other people and it's just kind of out there, I can kind of slip away. But yeah, so I think I'm open to both. I think a group, and the other thing somebody mentioned was where they lived, and that's another possibility. You know, that maybe if there was somebody in your same city or something like that as a one-on-one. So
one of the things, just as you're talking, that occurred to me is that even if you set out originally with a group, there's nothing to say that in that group you don't have a particular camaraderie with someone else who has the same view, and you break up into a sub category of your own that you identify, somebody who thinks, feels, and needs pretty much the same thing. There's nothing to say you can't break up into a pair, in addition or as a substitute for the group.
I did think about that. I thought maybe that's you know, a way of finding somebody who you would be compatible with. But in another way, I didn't want to think of it being kind of forming a clique or, you know, leaving other people out, that kind of a thing. So
no, for sure. Okay. Thoughts?
I just got here. I
You
was
kid.
dealing with an employee,
You
new
kidding.
employees.
Yeah.
So I'm late to the party. I know I had a few people that wanted to join a small group, and I don't have everybody's email. So I just posted if everybody could just private message me their email, then I can get that started. I was trying to look through my other group to see if I could find everybody, and I couldn't find everybody. So I couldn't contact them over the holidays.
Mhm.
But I am
So,
super excited about this. I think, you
okay.
know, I've done this kind of group work with Clutters Anonymous before,
Mhm.
and I used to go to weekly meetings when I first started my journey. And at first, I just used to listen. I just sat there and I would listen and I would hear what other people were doing, and I was kind of shy, and those days are gone. Can't shut me up now. But I
So,
think it really
so
helps to
group,
have a cheerleader, um, you know, somebody to just say good job every now and then. And, you know, it's nice when people are not giving advice, they're just supportive.
mhm. Yeah, no, that's the other thing too. In a group, um, sharing experience uh, of your own is not the same thing as giving advice based on your experience. All right. One, you own it. The other, you give it away. And I think that in a group, it's singularly unhelpful to start being the source of suggestions.
Mhm.
Very different to share. I had this problem. This is how I dealt with it. This was the effect. And I found this good and this not so good. Just saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello. Yes, I'm interested in both. I just to share an experience, I'm involved with an ADHD group that we meet all we meet as an entire group, and then we break off during the week in groups of 3. Now,
Oh.
during the holidays, it's not too surprising that a lot of people just could not. We have a set time frame to meet, but a lot of people couldn't make that. So with a group of 3, usually 2 people could get together. 2 out of the 3 could
Mhm.
find a time to get together, and we're generally flexible with our time. So if we can't all meet on our given Thursday afternoon, we can usually find some other time. I've really enjoyed it because this particular group is very, very positive, very much, even without guidelines. They're just into sharing, not advising, and it's very uplifting.
Mhm.
So I found it a very positive experience. I'm open to both. Just saying,
Okay.
small group seems to work really well.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I thought a few people were saying, body doubling and clutter buddying, and I thought, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Now, I don't feel that it would be necessarily appropriate for me to be the leader of it. I think that there's um, a lot of benefit when you have a self-help group. um, it has a different dynamic. And it's not so much like right now, it's more or less viewing what I'm saying and what other people might be adding. The self-help group, is more co-engaging. And that's a different energy and a different dynamic. So I think it's well worth the try. Okay, I've got 3 hands up. Oh, 2 hands up. What do you think? You said yes, and either group or
Right. I'm thinking there was something else I was going to say, and afterwards when somebody else said something, and now I can't think what it was because somebody DM'd me and I was in the middle of writing back, and I'm just like, I
Midnight tonight, you're gonna sit
yeah.
upright in bed and
Let
go.
me keep thinking about it. I'm just
Okay,
it'll come to me.
not to worry. Okay. Did you have something you wanted to add? Or did you just not take your hand down? Are you there? She's probably somewhere else. Okay, so what did,
Sorry. Apologies, I didn't take my hand down.
okay, all right. So go ahead.
Hi. Yes, I'm interested in both. I would love to create some friendships through these groups and just have a friendly forum to share ideas.
Good. Okay. So, yes.
Sorry, I can't find where the hands up symbol moved to.
That's okay. This
They keep
this
changing
works
them.
too. This works too. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And kudos to Braden. He did get that last session up. In fact, he's got everything, it seems, back to 2020, which is incredible and
Yeah.
well organized. I didn't look till last night, so I didn't look at the details of the breakout groups last time. I'm just waffling because I don't know. I would have trouble, I think, sticking to one set time, and I don't know how often. I am retired, so theoretically I'm quite flexible except for this session, but things come up that aren't in my control, timing wise, medical and other, other things I have to do that have a time frame. So, and I'm waffling about the one-on-one versus a small group. I do have a couple of friends who I know are in the same situation, but being, I think, and I'm struggling to get somebody to diagnose, but ADHD and also a paper problem. So when you share interests with friends, it's hard to keep just to one focus in a conversation.
That sometimes is why a group is good, because if you find that that's because when people get together and you're making a commitment to one another, you're really making a commitment about this issue, right? It's not like you're looking for a best friend. And so that focus is important. And the benefit also of a group, should that be what happens here, is that on a day you can't make it, but it's still there for everybody else. The other person doesn't lose. So for people who have a lifestyle that it's just not possible to lock in a day and a time, that 90% of the time, remember, we're not looking for perfection here, 90% of the time for your own benefit, not for their benefit. All right, for your own benefit, you say 90% of the time, I commit to scheduling other things at a time that doesn't interfere with this. And I know that challenge because I work 6.5 days a week. And so I have to schedule everything personal on a Wednesday afternoon. And I have to say to my doctor, my dentist, my blah, 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 what do you have Wednesday afternoon after 1 o'clock? And I might have to wait longer for the appointment. Luckily, I'm not on death's door, but that's the reality, because if it's something I need, I have to make it a priority.
And some days I have to focus on one thing and everything else gets crowded out. I'm in a house, which means the recycling is every 2 weeks. It's a big bugaboo. So it's, that's another constraint. I would not choose mornings. Some afternoons, not Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Because I
So
have something every 6 weeks
work,
on
work
Wednesday
it out the
afternoon.
best, work it out the best you can, Shirley. That's it. The best
But
you can is the best that's possible
I think it needs to be a small group, and if it's
for you. Yeah.
yes. And
Okay.
but I don't know. I know that one-on-one has more flexibility. You can negotiate a change easier, but I just don't know. And it would be good if there was I think if we shared the goal is maybe paper, that would be helpful to me.
Okay. Well, sooner or later it'll be paper, because paper is one of the biggies. It's going to be on the roster for sure. For sure, you can guarantee that. What do you think? Yeah. You was there a second ago. Are you there? There you are. Can you unmute and let me know, is a clutter buddy theoretically a good idea in your opinion for you? And if so, would it be individual one-on-one that you find somebody and the two of you make a date, regular date to work together or just to support one another, or a group where everybody who's interested, who can make it at that day and that time,
Yeah.
their best to commit?
I think, thank you. I think, Elaine, I'm tending more towards the larger group because it makes it easier if I can't commit and missing a session. But I really enjoy the sharings in the group setting.
Okay.
Thank you.
And very quickly in the chat box, as we're just coming up to time, the format. Would the format be just general discussion as a motivation? You know, I'm having a hard time with the mail. I'm having a hard time with recycling. I'm having a hard time with whatever. Or would it be that there's a focus, that it's motivation, it's energy, it's distraction, it's paper, how would you want to see that organized that would make it worth showing up for? Is it support, or is it tangible kind of, okay, we're all going to take a break. We're in the chat. We're going to put our goal. All right. We're going to leave the group for 15 minutes. We're going to go and put a dent in it, and we're going to come back and we're going to share what we managed to do. Yes.
Hi. I will say probably group for me.
Okay.
And I'd be open to both, but probably group is better for me right now. And I've done both over the years. And so for me, one of the issues is I'm not really on social media at all. The only thing I ever do is email. So I'm a dinosaur. I don't like chat.
Doing well right now, dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm a big dinosaur. So I don't really text, and I've never been on FaceTime. Facebook. I've never been on Facebook. So for myself, if these groups are meeting on large social media platforms, I probably won't join because I don't enjoy being out there on social media. So that being said, yeah, group, but I'd be open to individual possibly as well.
Okay, okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Is there anything else? Yes.
I remembered what, oh, go
I
ahead.
just threw it an idea possibly to start for a bigger kind of group. Might be if you were comfortable after your podcast, because you've already got the Zoom and everybody's here. If you were comfortable like transferring hosting to maybe a couple of us who were interested in moderating or have some experience in moderating, and then people who wanted to stay could stay and we're already all together. That might be a way to start it off.
Yeah. I always have a co-host, but if Dawn can't stay or it's not good for her, then yeah, during that podcast, people can volunteer to be, so long as they've got some experience.
Yeah. And how many
Okay.
people do have it? Like I've got some experience.
Yeah, hands up those people who have experience moderating. Okay.
Okay.
All right. It's the two of you.
Okay.
All right. You remember you said that.
I know.
Okay.
She's
All
my
right.
buddy.
Good. Okay. So
it's an idea. Or it could be something that, you know.
No, that's a good idea. That's a good idea because you're already here and basically you're giving up your lunch hour.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know, it could be an experiment.
Yeah, should be.
And maybe it
could
works,
be.
maybe it doesn't.
Could be. Why don't next week after the paper podcast, we try that and
I would be happy to help with that.
Maybe try it, like say we'll do it for.
It will be an experiment.
Yeah, and maybe try it just for, we'll kind of all check in with our paper goals and we'll work for like a prodroma period of 30 minutes or
and
like
you know
just
what,
start
you
with
can,
that.
You
and
can
see
break
how
it up
works.
too. There's nothing that says it can't be a discussion, motivational, blah, 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 you know, to kind of strengthen the underpinnings of the work you want to do yourself. What if it was also mixed with, okay, and for 15-20 minutes, everybody pick a project in advance, go and put a dent in it, come back and share it with the group.
If it's a big group, because then it can be hard and it can end up.
It looks like it's going to be a big group. It looks like it's going to be.
Yeah,
You said something about you've got 3 or 4 on Wednesdays. So
yeah, I have a UK meeting and then I have a support group of 6 from my Buried in Treasures class that's been meeting for years every Wednesday. And
what
then
time?
that one starts at 1.
Okay.
So yep, 1 to 2, and then I have my other UK meeting. So Wednesdays are bad for me. I already try to slap in like 3 support meetings that day. But I could do it at noon, you know, to start.
Okay.
It's a great idea to start with.
Yeah, I think why don't we try to start next week, okay, after the podcast.
Yep.
There's nothing to say that I don't take over the podcast, the meeting at 11 o'clock. And you actually meet from 10 to 11. Nothing to say there. All right.
Try it out.
Let's see if we can make that work. Next week, though, it will be 12 till 1. All right. For one try, you tell me, and then we can do the next week at the podcast, 11 till 12, we can do a summary of, yeah, that went well, that didn't go well, what do we need to tweak, blah, 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 blah. And can we try the 10 to 11, and then I come in at 11 for the podcast. Nothing, no problem. I can turn on Zoom. I don't care. I'm paying for it anyway. The pro membership. So yeah, you just can't have more than 500 people. All right. That's all there is to it because the price goes up. All right.
I have my thing. I know we're running late. I don't want to.
Go ahead.
I think one of the things when people were talking about ADHD, I know one of the groups last time they formed, they said, "Oh, we discovered we're all neurodivergent," and I thought, well, that was kind of interesting. That's another kind of thought around a group that people who do have that, and the other thing is, if anybody's in Canada, there is CADDAC, CADDAC, which is a countrywide support group. They have 3 meetings a month in different, you can choose different nights of the week to do it over the month. And they have webinars and all kinds of stuff, and it's all free. It's a really good group. So
who sponsors it?
It's CADDAC, CADDAC.
For ADHD.
Yeah, for ADHD. Sorry about that. Yeah,
Okay,
ADHD.
okay.
But the other thing I was going to say, somebody mentioned reticence about going on social media. And one of the things that might be a possibility is to have a Slack group, because that's sort of more private. It's just within the people that join. You can have different channels. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can have a
You're
group.
very technical.
No, it's not. It requires no tech. It doesn't really require technical. Well, actually, the person who moderates it does have to know something.
So says the technical person.
Well, yeah, it doesn't. It's true. I am a member of a Slack group, which I love, but I have to say I don't do any of the tech. But I reap the benefits of it, and it's really great.
Do you realize how many people broke eye contact when you started describing the process?
There must be some real techie in this group, I'm sure.
Okay. And in their minds, they were going, nope.
Oh, but it's kind of like Facebook without all the Facebook.
I know. I hate Facebook. Yeah. Okay.
If anybody's
too many places to get lost in. Yeah. Like what? Yeah. Anyway, I have to run now. You take care, and I will see you next week for paper and for launching a group.
Yes.
Okay. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Elaine.
Elaine.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.